beyond like these more advanced conditions like neck pain, migraines, TMJ, if things just feel off, we can interpret that. That has power. Listen to your body. If things just feel off, they probably are, and pursue that. I had this kind of wonky accident where I broke my spine, and bending over patients day in and day out was just not sustainable. I was too young to retire, an invalid, and so one of the things that had happened when I broke my spine, I started having anxiety. I was rear-ended, fractured my spine, but that gets all the attention down there. The fracture, oh, this is it, your rehab, walk, all that stuff was all like top of the line. But with the little subtle things, when your body's knocked out from underneath your head and it affects the craniocervical junction, those things start to settle in and they start to manifest, and they kind of have an insidious onset. They sneak up on you a little bit, and before you know it, I remember my first anxiety attack, and I was driving, and I felt like I was having a heart attack or something like that. I didn't have chest pain, but I had this like overwhelming feeling of awfulness, in so much that I had to pull my car over and got out, and I walked around thinking like, what on earth is going on? I thought I had no idea, and then that turned into claustrophobia, and then that turned into sleep breathing disorders. Like I started to get restless leg syndrome, and so my life was just, doing that big funnel down. And so at the time I started to search out upper cervical doctors that did the same hand adjusting technique that I did, to no avail. At least my case, they helped thousands and tens of thousands of people, but not me. I would get worse when I did that, ironically. So I made this leap. I'm in Salt Lake City and Dr. Roy Sweat's in Atlanta. So I got on an airplane and flew out to see him. And it was profound for me, because by the time I had got out to see him, I had so much anxiety that I could think about an anxiety attack and I would trigger one. I remember when I got in, we took new images. He took the images with the head clamps on so we could see those structures. And essentially, he gave me the adjustment. And so I sat up on the table and I did what I considered my litmus test. I thought of anxiety, because just thinking of anxiety would trigger this overwhelming anxiety kind of experience, attack, whatever. And I sat up and I remember thinking to myself, okay, here goes. Anxiety. Anxiety. Anxiety? And it was abstract to me from that moment on. That was 2010, I believe. And that was it totally changed my life.